Shalom Aleichem, everyone. It's my privilege to share words of Torah with you for the upcoming BeShvat tomorrow night. The minhag of Am Yisrael, especially in Eretz Yisrael, is to have a Seder BeShvat where we eat many of the Shivas Haminim of Eretz Yisrael, the fruits of Israel. I remember in Yeshiva Flatbush getting a bag with carob. Anybody over 40 will remember those bags of carob that we received from our schools, and that was BeShvat. In Eretz Yisrael, it's a much bigger deal. Everyone has a tish, everyone has some type of seder where they partake of the Shivas Haminim. Well, if you eat from the Shivas Haminim, then you have a special bracha achrona, which is al haperos, which is like the al hamichya. And if you have chita, the Shivas Haminim, that's bread, so then you make a berachas hamazon. There's a fascinating nusach, a fascinating two-word phrase that we say both in the Al HaPeros and in benching every day. And that is the Lashon of Eretz Chemdah. We call Eretz Yisrael Eretz Chemdah. Eretz Chemdah Tova Urechava. Now, as soon as you hear the word Chemdah, I think most of us recoil. Most of us think, Chemdah? Chemdah does not sound like a positive attribute. And the reason it doesn't sound like a positive attribute is because this week's Parsha, Parshas Yisro, the Aseres HaDibros, Lo Sachmod, which means don't desire, don't covet, a word we only use in this example of how to understand what Lo Sachmod means, to covet. We don't even know what to covet means. But it certainly sounds like, in a very negative context, negative connotation, not to be chomed, not to be desiring, not to yearn and long for something, and not to desire. The question is, why then in the Al HaPeros, in the Bracha Mein Shalosh, in the Al HaMichya, and in benching, do we use Eretz Yisrael as Eretz, do we utilize the nusach of Eretz Chemdah? And I'd like to answer with a very powerful idea that I think that we see from the Rambam. The Rambam in the Sugya, in the topic of Lo Sachmod, quotes the Medrash that says, you're only over on the Avera of Lo Sachmod if you actually got your hands on the object. If you desired someone's house, if you desired someone's car, and you nudged him, and you urged him until he finally sold it to you, then you are over on the Isser of Lo Sachmod. And the Rambam writes, and you don't get malchus, and you don't get punished with lashes. Why? Because it's a lav she'ein bo maisa. Because it's an inactive Avera. Asks the Ravid, if the only way you're going to be over the Avera is when you actually get your hands on it, Ein lecha ma'aseh gadol mizeh. It's the biggest action alive. What's pshat in the Rambam? The pshat in the Rambam, is explained by so many achronim, is that the Rambam thinks that the essence of the Avera is the desire. When are you over on the desire of wanting such an object so badly? When you actualized your desire. When you brought your desire to fruition. When not only you desired it so much that you acted upon it, and you succeeded in achieving and attaining that object. If this is true, that Lo Sachmod doesn't just mean desire, but it means a desire that you act upon until you finally bring it out to fruition, until it finally is realized, it's finally brought into practice, so then maybe one can answer the following. Chemdah, desire, wishing, wanting, longing for, yearning for, craving for, all of these are adjectives that are not positive or negative. Chemdah can be positive also. For Lo Sachmod, it means to desire someone else's property so much that you actually get your hands on it, that you act out upon it. Chemdah can also be used in a positive way, not just a negative way. After all, the Torah and Chazal use Chemdah for a couple of different examples. For one example, the Gemara says, and the Medrash says it even more clearly, that when the Malachim did not want Moshe to receive the Torah, the Malachim said, Chemda Genuza, this hidden treasure, this desirable item, you're going to give to Am Yisrael? The Torah is called Chemda Genuza. In Sefer Tehillim, the Torah is referred to as Hanechmadim Bipaz. Another example, there's a Medrash by Maras HaMachpelah, where Avram Avinu discovered Maras HaMachpelah for the first time. He was in Hebron, and he was looking for the animal, and the animal went down into this cave, and he followed the animal into the cave, and then he saw Adam Harishon, Adam and Chava buried in Maras HaMachpelah. And it says that he saw candles lit there, and there was a beautiful smell. And the lashon of the Medrash, the language of the Medrash is the following: Lefichach, therefore, Chamad HaMe'ara La'achuzat Kever. He desired, he coveted, he wanted so badly Maras Machpelah to be the place where he will bury he and his wife and his children and his grandchildren. This is something, Chamad means a desire that you want to act upon. Chemdah is actually a very powerful and very important midah. It's a midah of wanting something so badly, desiring something, having such high-level aspirations that you want to act upon it. There are some people who, their desires, their aspirations, they don't leave their Dalet Amos. They don't leave their thought process. They want to commit an Avera, but you know what? They're too lazy to commit the Avera. So they have this desire, and they don't act upon it. Then there are those people who do the Avera, and they act upon it. Well, in the positive sense, there is the same two levels. There are people who have thoughts, dreams, aspirations, and it remains just an idea. They're too lazy to actualize it, to make it be realized. And then there are people who have drive, who have a dream, who have thoughts, aspirations that they would like to bring to fruition and bring to reality. That type of chemdah, that type of desiring until you'll actualize what you want, is something that is extremely positive. Torah can be seen as a chemdah genuza. Maras HaMachpelah in Avram Avinu's world was also something that he was chomed. And the same thing is true about Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is Eretz Chemdah. The Chet of the Meraglim, the Navi says, Vayim asu be'Eretz Chemdah. They were disgusted, they despised Eretz Chemdah. We, who love Eretz Yisrael, who wanted to make Eretz Yisrael a reality, for so many of us who have actually made Aliyah, who just the thought process of wanting to make Aliyah and wanting to be in Eretz Yisrael didn't just remain a dream and a thought, but was actualized upon, is something that this is what real Eretz Chemdah is all about. It's an Eretz that we want so badly that we act out upon it. And you see this idea that Chemed, Chamud, Nechmad, is something that the Torah thinks is actually positive. Because where is the first time Nechmad is mentioned? It's in Parshas Bereishis. Vayitzmach Adonai Elohim min ha'adama kol eitz nechmad lemareh v'tov lema'achal ve'etz ha'chaim b'soch hagan ve'etz hadas tov v'ra. He made every eitz nechmad lemareh. Nechmad means that something nechmad, and we sometimes relate to even our children, oh, he's so nechmad, he's so wonderful. Nechmad is not a negative trait. Nechmad is something that we desire, that we want, that we're interested in, that we have aspirations for. But our ideal is to actualize those aspirations. May we all be zocheh to take this lesson every time we say in benching Eretz Chemdah, that this is the land that we desire, the land that we want, the land that we would like to actualize all of our dreams. Everyone should have a wonderful, wonderful Tu BeShvat. All the best. Kol Tov.